People talk a lot about the best weapon in video games. The answer is usually something iconic, or extremely powerful. But my answer's different. It's something powerful, but well-balanced.
What is this thing? Is it some kind of weapon?
It has a number of unique mechanics.
Put that down. It's a prototype.
It looks and feels amazing.
It's much too unpredictable. Don't let it overcharge.
Wait, what do you mean, over?
And it gets its own theme song. But before we get to what makes this thing so good, let's talk about its origins. This thing goes by two names, the Tau Cannon and the Gauss Gun. Is it Gauss? Gauss?
Gauss.
Gauss Gun. I'm going with it. The latter name seems to be older, used for all the files, and is named after a real device. Now, I'm not a physicist, but from what I can gather, a Gauss gun or coil gun is a weapon that uses electromagnetic coils to accelerate a projectile. There are plenty of videos of these things floating around online, and they look pretty cool. It seems that at some point in development, the concept of the weapon must have shifted, because the Tau cannon doesn't really look or act like a Gauss gun. A Tau is a negatively charged particle with 3,000 times the mass of an electron. I think it's safe to guess that this device is some sort of small, handheld particle accelerator. Like, yeah, look at that, it's pretty close, I think. See, they've got the bottle and everything. Basically, the Tau cannon launches particles at extremely high speeds, colliding with living organisms and breaking down their entire physical structure in a violent subatomic explosion. Awesome. Oh yeah, and in the beta it had a handle or something. It didn't look as good, but it doesn't seem to have gone through any major functional changes. So how exactly does it work? Well, on the surface, it's very simple. The primary fire shoots beams of yellow energy, which do 20 points of damage, or enough to kill a Vortigaunt in 2 shots on normal, and an alien grunt in 5. But the real meat of the weapon comes from the alt fire, which can be charged to deal between 25 and a whopping 200 damage. I don't want to get bogged down in stats and numbers here, but that's a lot. Don't charge it for too long, though. So right off the bat, the Tau is a very powerful, versatile late-game weapon, balanced out by a rare ammo supply that it chews through quickly. A great addition to the game already, but that's not what makes it my favorite. There are 3 more factors that take this weapon from great to something with the potential to build an entire game around, with versatility rivaling the portal gun. The first of these is ricocheting. Shots from either firing mode can bounce off the walls and floor at certain angles, allowing for some impractical but fun trick shots in some areas. This can interact with the next feature, penetration through walls and enemies, to produce some really great results. And the best part is its knockback. Because of the way speed can be maintained with bunny hops in certain versions of the Gold Source engine, Gauss jumping has become an integral mechanic in speedruns, letting players fly through the entire game. And because the knockback is increased even further in the game's deathmatch mode, well, powerful would be an understatement. Yeah, this thing can jump, and do it better than any rocket ever has. Now, just imagine for a second a mod or game based entirely around this thing. Reflection puzzles, platforming, and a unique tactical combat system. I think it has potential for greatness, provided a few minor tweaks are made here and there. So why doesn't this thing get more recognition? Well, it has a problem with placement. The weapon's introduction is by far the best in the game, and the perfect spot to use it is only a few minutes away. But after that, the rest of Surface Tension doesn't really need it. It's a great chapter, but because it gives players a rocket launcher, the Tau probably won't see a lot of use. The next chapter, Forget About Freeman, provides a few more opportunities for it to shine, but it's pretty short and you spend quite a lot of it swimming. Then, at the start of Lambda Core, the weapon is flat out replaced by another that, while less mechanically interesting, is more powerful and shares the same uranium ammo supply.
But I just can't bring myself to use it on a living creature. You don't...
From there, I'd guess that most players probably didn't use the Tau cannon more than a handful of times. In fact, I'd guess that most players didn't quite know everything the weapon could do, and honestly, a lot of its best mechanics aren't really useful in the single player. But there was just so much potential here, right? So much more that could be done with this weapon. The opportunities are boundless. It could be a perfect way to give a Half-Life sequel more depth. So let's see what new and innovative uses Half-Life 2 found for the Tau cannon. Now, Half-Life 2's arsenal is kind of strange and a little bit complicated, but before release, it went through a lot of changes. The Tau cannon was going to be included, given to Gordon after it was detached from the car. Leftover animations indicate that a Vortigaunt was going to take part in the scene, and there's even a bit of voice acting.
We'll get that weapon off the car for you, but you're gonna have to continue on foot.
In the beta, the weapon has a model and works a lot like in the first game, with just a bit more kickback. It even has an unused HUD icon. Hey, where have I seen that before? Best guess as to why it was cut? Well, Half-Life 2 was too busy with physics to even consider any cool Tau cannon tricks, and there isn't much it can do as a weapon that the pulse rifle can't. There are mods like mmod that restore the Tau cannon, but officially, that's where the story ends. Oh, except for a few references to it in Episode 3 related files that leaked in other games, and a pretty major cut appearance in Alex. Apparently JC from the Valve Archive is working on a video about that, and it'll go deeper than I could on any cut content or leaks. I'll put a card in the corner here when that's done. Unfortunately, that still leaves us with Half-Life as the only game to feature the Tau cannon in any major way, and I think that's quite a shame. It's sad that a concept with so much potential hasn't gotten the spotlight it deserves. But hey, maybe, just maybe, we'll get to see the Tau cannon again in the next game. If you enjoyed this video or saw anything I could improve, please let me know in the comments. Or you could join my brand new Discord server, where you can talk to me and others about video games and stuff. Link in the description. And thank you very much for watching.
I will see you up ahead.
The first of these is Ricochet.